I'm jacjson, and I hate Sonic the Hedgehog. It's not that he did anything wrong per se, it's just that that's my job as a Mario fan. That's why for this week's batch of 5-year Mario Maker levels, I'm gonna step on that stupid blue rodent.
The levels for week 4 of 5 years of Mario Maker were released on September 5th, 2021. That sounds awfully dramatic, but all it means is that I'm a week late in making this video. The levels in this batch ramped up the difficulty, with the easiest still being almost 3 out of 4 stars. This week opens up with Tony Montana Mole, which is a reference to the 1983 film Scarface and not Hannah Montana. The gimmick of the level is the infinitely firing cannons that make this neat platform to bounce on. It's eerily similar to Mang's Bonsai 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 in week 1. What makes this one stand out is that it's an auto-scroller, so you have to wait for death to come to you. In this level, that death is in the form of thwomps. Some of them you can stand next to and they end up dying, others crush your hopes, dreams, and face. That's all there really is to the first section, and to be honest, it was really frustrating. It took me half an hour to get through it, whereas it normally takes me an hour and a half to beat all 8 levels.
I'm a busy man, I don't have extra time for Tony Montana Mole.
The second section saved the level for me. Donkey Mint switched it up, extending the level to below the cannonballs as well as above them. This segment uses a shell to open up gaps in the cannon fire to traverse it, which is such a neat concept executed so well. So why didn't they use it for the next part? The gimmick was so smoothly implemented in this section, but right at the end, you have to bounce the cannonballs and then immediately drop below them. This wouldn't be so bad if the cannonballs didn't fire so inconsistently, making the hole completely random size when you bounce on them. That combined with the task of falling between 2 moving objects that can easily kill you makes for an awful and frustrating end to such an incredible section. But then there's the boss. I'd love to say that it was straightforward and effortless. I'd love to say that I beat it first try, but I can't because it took me 2 tries. The boss isn't the best part of the level. That medal goes to the shell segment, but it definitely flowed the most smoothly. On the first attempt, I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen, but then it did, and I got the most I had the most beautiful run to the end. The best part? I got all the red coins, which gives me the key to a giant 5 years of Mario Maker cake.
This tastes awful!
Bouncing Burnway is up next. I playtested this level 2 days before it came out, so my clear time dropped 60-fold from the first level. Any deaths can be attributed to my controller not being plugged in.
Which is true.
The first section introduces the theme of the level, the weight capacity of various flying objects. Jumping piranha plants can hold up to 1 stump, while the muncher can carry an entire cannon. The limits of these poor creatures' strengths are pushed to the limits by the end of the level, where munchers have to carry sentient rockmen or their entire family for Mario's platforming pleasure. If it's any consolation, this last jump feels awesome. What doesn't feel awesome is the complete and total lack of cake. I mean, there are no red coins, no key doors, no indication as to where it might be. I'm sure it's out there, but it's probably a bad flavor like pickles or bleach. The third level is Big Boy Bounce. It's our first contraption of the week, utilizing the springy muncher machine. According to the level description, this is my Big Boy Muncher, but I think I'd remember adopting one of those. The level has this thing bouncing along the bottom half of the screen, and the players to platform along the top half. It's a sick concept that's done really well, but sometimes there's just a lot going on. That's not a bad thing, but half the time I was swearing and the other half I was celebrating.
They're more closely related than you think.
The level feels more like a Kaizo than any other 5-year Mario Maker level I've played. It's packed to the brim with shell tricks and precise jumps. It's not the hardest level of the week, but it sure feels like it sometimes. And then we get to the boss fight. The fight itself is actually really creative, but the problem is it uses the cloud. The cloud is one of the worst parts in Super Mario Maker 2. Its controls are floaty and unresponsive, and I always end up drifting to some form of death. Because of this, the last section was extremely difficult as it sets you up to do precise movements with the cloud and auto-scroll and a Bowser shooting fire at you. Just add 2 eggs for a recipe for disaster. Luckily, the level saved itself. If you don't kill Bowser before getting to the end of this section, there's this extreme bullet hell where you have to finish him off. That might sound worse to most people, but Mario controls so much better with ground beneath his feet that I managed to take down Koopa King first try. I said I managed to take down the Koopa King first try. I said I managed to take down the Koopa King first try.
Finally, it's time to step on Sonic! And I've got my anti-Sonic shoes to make all my jumps more effective.
There's a lot to like about this level, and I think it gets more hate than is deserved for it. The concept is simple enough. The floor is covered in Sonic spikes that flare up periodically. Deaths feel cruel and mean because the hitbox of the spike comes out before the animation, but overall this is a neat timing mechanic and it's well introduced. And then the on-off mechanism is used for this mushroom platform, which makes the blasters bounce up in tempo. The level is fluid and well designed, and even though it's difficult, it's also incredibly fun. Until this jump right here. The problem isn't the jump itself, but in how it's presented. The first time we see a dash panel, the timing to leave it is right before the spikes go down. This time around, you have to do it right before the spikes go up, which is, say it with me now, bad game design. Also, you're given this little cutout of wall to jump into and see the level up ahead, but that doesn't really help since you're given no choice but to die after that. This one part made a 10-minute level into the second hour-long level of the day.
Guys, I'm running out of time to play Elmo's Ladder Adventure.
After a while, I got super frustrated and put on Sticker Brush Symphony to keep myself relaxed, and crazily enough, it worked. I sailed to the end and was ready to be done with this level. But look, I got the cake key. I'm excited to see this level's... Aw, come on!
That's right, if you want the cake, you have to beat a third, even more difficult section. I wanted to step on Sonic, not run a marathon on him.
I didn't actually get to the cake, but I watched other people do it, which is basically the same thing. Besides, I want to delay my eternal punishment for as long as possible. The next level, Around the Mario World, is another reference that I just don't get. It's a fine music level, but I'm not the target audience since I don't know what a Daft Punk is. It uses some sort of global music contraption to make the song play while you're platforming. I'm not smart enough to know how it works, but it's pretty cool. And overall, it's a really fun platforming level. You run sometimes and jump other times, which is just the thing that gets me going.
Oh yeah!
The neatest part is that this level reuses sections, turning the first platforming area into a tricky Roy boss fight when you go through it the second time. I'm a sucker for things like this, so that definitely improves its rating for me. As for the level as a whole, there are some scary encounters with thwomps, and I didn't get the cake again, but I can attest that it's physically possible to do it here. The second contraption level of the week is Clown Yeet. It's this neat setup with clown cars that flings you across the level, but there's one problem with it.
Note blocks!
Clouds may be one of the worst parts in the game, but note blocks take the cake as the absolute bane of my existence. I mean, when do you press it? Because of the level requiring any precise timing whatsoever, I was unable to get past the third jump. For what it's worth, what I saw the level was neat and the jump seemed well designed, but I just have no idea how to use this stupid block. Bonehead Bunker is the 7th level and easily my favorite this week. It's a lot like Roller Coaster from last week, which is just a testament to how cool and awesome it is. The level places you on this really long skull platform and says have fun before sending you on the ride of your life. It's fast, exciting platforming.
Oh yeah!
Sometimes the platform splits and you have to jump between them. Sometimes you have to get off the platform and do some other platforming. Sometimes you have to make a really big jump. Whatever it is, it's easy to understand what to do and it's fun to do it. I know I've complained a lot about the levels this week, but I genuinely have nothing bad to say about this level. Maybe you could argue that being able to lose the cake key after grabbing it and hitting the checkpoint is bad level design, to which I say this level is fun and I'm okay with playing it for the cake. This week ends with The Lord of the Shelmets, a Super Mario Maker 2 recreation of the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, and more importantly, a puzzle level. It was a great level, but I'm not a fan of puzzles because they make me feel stupid.
I'm jacjson, and I hate feeling stupid.
The goal of every section is to get through the door without a Shelmet. It teaches you this with a nice little puzzle, and then, oh god, I have to think. I'll be honest, I didn't finish this level, but I did watch the rest of it, and it looks pretty neat. It's just not for me.
I had a lot of criticisms for this week, but all this is overshadowed by the fact that these are amazing levels, and everything I was saying was just petty remarks. Except for the levels taking too long because, damn it, I didn't get to play Elmo's Ladder Adventure!